On that fateful day, Abigail did not sleep that night. She laid still on her mat, listening to the house, the guards outside, the quiet breathing of the girls, the distant noise of Lagos. Her fear had changed. It was no longer wild or confused. It was calm, sharp and ready. She knew now what the red deal meant. She knew what happened to the girls who never returned. And she knew she could not wait to be next. Before dawn, Abigail moved. She followed the plan she had built quietly over weeks. She waited for the guards to change positions and was certain Vee Mama had gone to her mansion in Ikoyi. She slipped through shadows she had memorized. Her heart beat hard, but her steps were steady. She reached the small gate at the back of the compound and it opened without resistance. She had barely walked past the back gate when she was caught by two men and dragged back into the house. Her cries were met with cold silence. Vee Mama didn't go to Ikoyi. She was right there in the house. She had been observing Abigail and knew she was planning something. Vee Mama did not shout or beat her. Instead, she looked at Abigail with disappointment and ordered that she be locked in the small room at the back of the house. The door was bolted from the outside, and Abigail was left alone in darkness, waiting. It was there she learned the truth. When Vee Mama came to the door later that night and told her calmly that the chief had chosen her for the red deal, Abigail understood immediately what that meant. She had heard enough whispers to know that the girls chosen for such deals never returned whole, and many never returned at all. Her body shook with fear as she realized that her vital body parts were going to be used for the ritual. No matter how much she begged or cried, Vee Mama only reminded her that her family had already been paid and that sacrifice was the price of success. Far away in the village, Abigail's mother felt an uneasiness she could not explain. She tried to sleep, but her heart would not rest. Though her husband assured her that Abigail was fine and that the money they were receiving was proof of her success in Lagos, the mother could not shake off her fear. She chose to kneel and pray. She prayed with tears, asking God to protect her daughter from danger she could not see. She prayed without stopping, even as night turned into morning. The chief arrived in Lagos quietly. Abigail was blindfolded and taken out of the locked room through the back. She cried loudly and struggled as they led her into a vehicle, but no one listened to her. She was taken to another location where the red deal was meant to be carried out. Fear filled her heart as she realized that time was running out. Still, her mother continued to pray in the village, refusing to stop despite her husband's doubts. What no one noticed was that earlier that night, one of the guards had accidentally left his mobile phone behind in the locked room. He had tried to bargain with Abigail, offering her freedom in exchange for her body, but when she refused, he stormed out and forgot his phone. Abigail had seen it. When she was briefly left alone, she hid the phone. With shaking hands and a pounding heart, Abigail dialed the police emergency line. She spoke quickly, describing the house, the men, Vee Mama, and the ritual deal that was about to happen. Explaining she was in great danger. The call ended abruptly, but it was enough. Help was already on the way. Before the ritual could begin, the place was surrounded by police officers. The chief was arrested on the spot, and Vee Mama was taken into custody shortly after. Her calm smile disappeared as years of hidden crimes came to light. The other girls in her house were rescued, some weak but alive. The nightmare that had thrived in silence was finally exposed. The news traveled back to the village like fire. People were shocked as the truth was revealed. It was discovered that many parents had willingly begged Vee Mama to take their daughters, believing it was the only way to escape poverty. The shame was heavy. The money they had celebrated now carried the weight of guilt. When Abigail returned home, her mother held her tightly and cried like a woman who had almost lost her child. Vee Mama's name was no longer spoken with praise, and the chief lost the power that had protected him for years. Their downfall was complete. The other girls were grateful for Abigail. Her bravery to call the police had set them all free. Abigail survived what was meant to destroy her. She became the reason the truth was uncovered and the chain Vee Mama had on the village was broken. And long after the story spread across villages and cities, people remembered her not as a victim, but as the girl who ended it all. She was Abigail, the last prey.